Okay.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Business Lunatics, the weekly show where four fearless loonies pull back the curtain on the wild, the wonderful, the sometimes downright ridiculous world of entrepreneurship. No fluff, no BS, just business madness. Freddie, take it away as we talk about the new world of SEO.
Well, thank you, Maylee. As I was mentioning before we started recording, I was fortunate to have an individual on my Business Superfans podcast, and we talked about how SEO is really changing and is coming into the AI applications like ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, and the one that I think it's Grok that Elon Musk is
Yeah.
creating, and then Gemini that Google's creating. And that is really kind of changing the game from what SEO we know of to what it's becoming.
People don't
Yep.
go to
It's been
Google as much as they
changing. I mean, as we go through the process of not just the terminology of SEO, but now we're having to learn new terminologies. So we're talking about generative engine optimization, or GEO, which shouldn't be confused with geography. And then the
Sure.
other one, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but there's also when we talk about AI and search engine optimization, or I should just say website optimization, there's also answer engine optimization, AEO. And so, as this process is moving, it's just moving at light speed. It's changing very quickly. And Freddie, like you said, everybody's moving to the world of ChatGPT, to Claude, to Gemini, to Copilot to find stuff. In other words, they're not looking at Google anymore, or at least I shouldn't say anymore, as much as they're reducing the amount of searches in Google when they're looking for specific results. And I
Right,
think
because
this is
there's
where
no
the AI
noise.
rolls.
Yeah,
well,
because all
Exactly. Right. I
the
know.
noise is gone,
they
and so you're getting the information that you want. And especially what's really cool about, utilizing Perplexity is, I mean, it shows you where it's getting the data from pretty quickly
It gives you
and,
the resources.
and gives you the resources. And so, if you want to go explore, you can, but it's really changing the game
Okay.
of SEO and searching for stuff. I think, we Bing and Google, which are the two big search engines, are going to have to pivot pretty quickly because it's going to be a completely different game within the next 24 months.
can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, great. Um, Claude, Chat, all of them give you the source of where it comes from. But the first one out there, which is really a skinned version of ChatGPT, was Perplexity. And Perplexity has been known or called, I've heard many times, as the Google killer. And it's not out to get Google per se, but a lot of less people are going to Google and searching for things. They're going straight to, as you guys just said, straight to the actual large language models. So it only makes sense that the SEO, the engine optimization, whether it's AEO or SEO or GEO, whatever type of engine optimization you're looking to do to find you to put up for Pillar Coach or to put up, whatever company you're at, I think it's got to have to go to the AI route. That's all there is to it because everything's becoming agentic AI to generative AI to you name it. It's all in the AI world because it's smarter,
Okay,
it's
Steve,
faster.
question, how? Talk to me. How do we become more, how do we personally can come up on the, the generative models? What are some of the one or two things that we actually have to do in order to make that
I'll
happen?
tell you, I'm going to leave it to the smart guys in the marketing room, maybe, or Freddie, you might know how to do it. It's on
Well, one of the things that came up in this morning's podcast from this individual was backlinks are still important. We don't hear about backlinks that much anymore, but they're really still a major
what's a
player.
backlink? Explain the backlink for those that don't know, because
Backlink is basically linking back from someone else's site back to your site, and that creates validity of your site and it improves in your ranking. And basically, Google and Bing both take a look at that information, and that helps. And then these generative AI systems are looking at that, to validate whether you are a valuable business. The
Yeah.
example that was given today was this individual was looking for a particular service. They went to ChatGPT, searched for this type of a service. This company came up. They went to the company. They basically, because of the website was optimized properly and for conversion, they basically went in, signed up, paid a $10,000 upfront fee, and signed up for a $2,000 a month subscription for the services that this company did,
Love it.
all through AI.
And you
Right.
can
And
create
Rich,
your own actual landing pages that link back and forth as well. There's other technology techniques. I'm sure, Amelia, you can give 1,000 of them. It's one of the things you guys do. I'm
yeah.
sure.
I mean, let me answer Michelle's question this way. And it's an exercise that I did for my marketing agency. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, who would you recommend, just real straight up? I said, who would you recommend for as a digital marketing agency? And it came back with a series of 5 or 10 responses. The 5 or 10 responses were all fairly large, national, in some cases global, not only marketing agencies, but PR firms and ad agencies. And I said, okay. So I said, and I did something real simple. So once I got the list, I went back to ChatGPT and I said, why did you not list Smart Finds Marketing? And it gave me a list of reasons why we're not there. Okay, so there's step 2. Step 3, before I started, going down the road of trying to solve or fix or answer why we're not there. The next thing I said was, okay, based on what you know about Smart Finance Marketing, under what circumstances would you recommend or source, refer us as a source when somebody's in ChatGPT looking for a marketing agency? And it came back and it said, you know what, if somebody was searching for B2B digital marketing agency, we would show you. And so the good news was, under very specific circumstances, it would recommend our marketing agency, right? Now, granted, we've been out there for 38 years, and since 2004, the brand has been really out there. But here's the thing that I think is more important for everybody to do, which falls in line with what Freddie just said. You need notable references.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which is honestly, this is the interesting thing. It's not any different than what Wikipedia requires in the references when you try to put a Wikipedia article together. So you need notable references, notable meaning that they are well established, right? They can
Reputable.
be sourced. They've been out there for a little while. That's what we're looking for. And so, what are some notable resources? Number one, press releases, right? So get some press releases out to the marketplace, and ideally, you want those press releases show up on, popular websites. What are some other things? Your social media is another space, your website's another space, your LinkedIn, your company page, your LinkedIn profile, right? What you have in the various social communities out there. And more importantly, is what Freddie was just talking about too, is you need something out there that's from, notable websites, and I hate to use, I don't know, the drum, for example, the drum.com, right? Or I hate to use these large websites as examples like Wall Street Journal. I'm not suggesting it's got to be that significant, but it has to be of significant value of worth so that the AI engines, as they pick this up, like Freddie was just saying, when they make a recommendation, they also base the recommendation with a reference, a source. Here, take a look. This is where I got the information from.
If it sources back to Wall Street Journal, then that's going to look a lot better. So if you wrote one article
Exactly.
and it got
Yeah.
published, like I wrote articles that got published on Global Entrepreneurs Organization, and it got me a lot of extra traffic. But there's one thing I wanted to go back to that you said, Amelia, because I think it's important for everybody. You can ask your large language model. I'm going to stop saying chat because it's not only about chat. There's Claude,
Right, I know.
Copilot, Gemini, and Grok, and I can go on down the road. But pick your favorite large language model, generative AI product, and say, tell me what I need to do to make my website more findable, more reachable, more available to the general public or to this general area or whatever it is you're looking for. But just ask that chat. I'll use the example. You ask your LLM to go research it and find out what I need to fix, what's broken. And there's SEM Rush and there's other applications out there that'll do a lot of this stuff too. But now the large language models, it's getting so good, they can do it all for you as well.
Oh yeah, the details that it gives you is incredible. But I'm gonna go back to the backlinking stuff because what this gentleman shared was it doesn't have to be super sophisticated either. He said you can get your friends or people that have businesses to just link, you can co-link back to each other's businesses, and that starts the process. And it doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's basically authentic because, if the four of us connected, for example, to each other's websites and talked about each other in a blog, which I think was something that we should really think
Mhm.
about doing, and
Yep.
we link to each other's websites and stuff, that will automatically elevate all four of us up to another level.
In the old days, they
Yeah.
used to just put it in the home page. You could put it in the
Okay.
text or the headers, or you wouldn't have to list it, like not even seen, just in the code.
Yeah, well, those
And
days are
that was
gone.
good enough. I know that's all those days are gone. But I think
Yeah,
the
people used to
idea,
stack and bury, 2,700 different keywords and phrases and
those
links
were
and
the
all that
days.
stuff.
But I think that, yeah, writing, liking each other's blogs, visiting each other's sites,
Yep.
all that stuff really helps,
Yeah,
and
and
putting it.
yeah,
I want to ask
good.
another question, guys. How about, 'cause, whenever we go on these large language sites, we're creating our own personal persona, and through what we're writing, through what we're asking.
Mhm.
I think that if we become very SEO conscious while we're doing our own stuff, they're going to pick it up also. Because I have not been as, when I've been doing a lot of what I've been doing, I really haven't, to be honest, like the nerve of me, shame, shame, I haven't been thinking about SEO. So I wouldn't be, no, I haven't presented myself in my, my chat, let's just use that as my brand. I can be more, what's the word, not global, but more generic. The worst thing you can be in marketing is generic. I haven't made myself clear as a with particular SEO words. Now look and think, if you're doing training, if you're whatever you're doing, if it's just on the platform and you're really using a lot of these SEO words, that alone is going to make rank, you'll rank higher. If your persona on the platform is very specific with a lot of the words. So yes, there's something about connecting us to others, which is great, but we also have to honor who we are and weave those words in our articles, in our persona, in our training, whatever those whatever we're doing there, we've got to make sure in our videos, are we weaving it in so that the combination of it
Well,
all makes a difference. It's not one thing, it's the compound effect of it all.
it is the collective, like I always say, meet them where they're at. So it is a collective around social media, website, email, phone calls, texting, whatever. But there's a combined attack to that. But I'm going to ask you two, Freddie and Maylee. I'm curious because I'm not a SEO expert. What is the new way to use GEO or AEO to your advantage? Do you guys know how we can leverage that as business owners or as people?
Yeah,
Still too
I
new.
got two answers for you. One of them is to answer Rochelle's response too. Number one is, Rochelle, I think something worthwhile doing is to go to the LLMs, whichever one you want to choose. Have them determine what they know about your website. You might, like in your case, as a consultant, you may want to upload your LinkedIn profile as a PDF as well, and just give them as much information as possible. Let them decide for under two circumstances. Number one is what are the key words, for example, or the key phrases that make sense for you, number one. And number two is to find keywords or phrases where the competition is low online so you can get noticed quickly.
And
Okay. So
you can ask your
you can
LLM to
ask the
find that.
question.
Right.
Exactly. All right. Now, Steve, going back to your question, which I think everybody wants to know about this as well. So back in 2007, Google, Yahoo, and Microsoft got together and they developed something called schema.org, schema.org. And if you go to that
I
website,
remember that. Yep.
it's a very technical website. The purpose of this from these three large corporations was, how do we identify what a piece of text copy is on a web page? I'm not talking about the website, just a single web page. And to keep it simple, my examples are this. They want to know that this piece is the zip code, this is the phone number, this is the address, okay? And there's specific code when when you have an address, for example, you have your phone number that's wrapped around in the HTML code that says this is the zip code, this is the phone number. And so what we call this is schema. And so this has been going on since 2007. It's nothing new. It's been out there for a long time. As a matter of fact, if you have a WordPress website, you can get a plugin specifically for schema, and it'll kind of pretty much help you make it all work easily enough. The other scenario is where we are today. In other words, with the large language models, how do they determine? And so the answer is they want to see schema as well, or what we also now call the JSON script, JSON script within your website, specifically identifying all the details. More importantly, though, is that they're looking for information way beyond what the search engines were looking for. And there's additional and new versions of that schema code. So here's the very simple thing, and we honestly, we don't need to be a tech guru to figure this out. You go to ChatGPT, all right, and this is what I did, is put, let's say, very simply, just put the URL of your blog article, for example, or your homepage. Just stick it in there and say, give me the schema code for this page. It'll come back and give
Yep.
you the script. Copy, paste it, put it directly into your web page, you're done.
Yep.
And that answers your question, Steve, in terms of
That's
how
great.
do these guys gather the information? I mean, aside from the notable things that we talked about and the linking that we're talking about and so on and so forth, the other piece is how the information that you have on the website, and do you have the right code in there? And so getting that schema code in there, doing the backlinks that Freddie was talking about, doing the notable references that I'm talking about, which is kind of the two kind of go hand in hand, you have a much better chance of getting referenced in the results of the AI engines when somebody's looking for XYZ.
Yep.
You're going to think that I do it, but I don't. I actually have a guy that does my website. I'm going to ask him to do it.
Absolutely.
I'll do the chat
And he's
GPT part. I'm
gonna
good
go to
at
GPT and type it in.
No, I was
There
gonna
you
say
go.
I'll send him the code just like I did with my widgets for my voice agent on my website. So I got the code. I'm like, here, PJ, set this up. Oh, come on, WordPress is easy. I'm like, yeah, it's easy for you to do. Go ahead.
But I
That
think
works.
what's important here is that the businesses that look at incorporating this today, right now, are going to have a very significant competitive advantage over
Yeah.
others that are, because I always say there's three types of people on this planet: those that make things happen, those that watch things happen, and those that wonder what blank happened.
Yeah.
Anybody with any
And the reality is, some of those people are going to be going, "What the heck happened?" Because it's like the people that used to be on page one of Google, and then they don't do anything for a year and a half, and then they wonder, why did they go to page 4? because they did no updates to the website, nothing like that. And the search engine comes along, as we all know, and says, "Oh, there's nothing new to catalog here. Goodbye." And we'll slow it down, and we'll come back in, well, 4 months. Nope, nothing. Come back in 8 months. Nope, nothing. Well, we'll come back next year. And
And the spiders are smart like that.
yep,
And that's why people say, even if you just, that's why blogging is important. Obviously, your content's important, but just putting
Right.
something different, making it different. So when the spider comes back to look at it, it goes, "Oh, that's new. Let me re-index that," and it re-indexes
yep.
the whole site. And by the way, I just wrote my schema code for my webpage. Done.
There you go.
You want to see it?
Now,
It's all
there's
programming, notes and next steps. It even tells me what to do with my logos, images, and my
yeah.
ad is optional. Be more social profiles, all my good stuff. So I'm ready to go. Thanks,
So
man.
let me continue this conversation on the noble resources because uh, I went through this exercise on purpose, trying to figure out, okay, for example, how do I get my marketing agency into Wikipedia, which, mind you, I've tried multiple times over the years, right? And every single time I get shut down because I just don't have the references they're looking for. They don't like the references I provide, whatever that case is. And so I have no relation with these companies. I'm just bringing them up as an example. There's a website called featured.com, which I think is valuable so that you can be sourced and referenced in articles from larger companies who are looking for people to provide feedback on XYZ topic. I think featured.com is a good starting point for that. Another one that kind of runs parallel, but in a little bit different way, is called quoted.com, which is actually spelled QWOTED, quoted.com. I think both these company websites are worth spending a little bit of time. Listen, we're all busy, right? We don't have endless time to spend on these types of things, but perhaps within a week, jump in, you take a look at what questions are being asked, answer them if something that makes sense for you. In quoted case, there's another, it's similar but a little bit different. Do the same thing on both of them and just see if you can get referenced. If you can get referenced by these larger companies, or I should say, by reporters who are writing articles for larger notable websites, that's the type of thing that you're looking for, to be able to say, yes, I've been referenced, I have a notable resource, and it's verifiable. I think that's the important piece,
That's
especially if
gold.
you're trying to, for example, get into Wikipedia. I think the Wikipedia thing is an interesting exercise. In other words, do you have enough stuff to have a page about you, whether it's the individual or your
I don't know, man. We
company
got a lot of
in
years.
Wikipedia?
We got a lot of years of a lot of content and a lot of stuff, you and I. I'm just saying.
I know, but you know
Just
But
what?
you
saying.
still have to have the references and
It's
other people. That's the
exactly.
thing. Because same thing. I figured I'm an author and podcaster and everything
Me too.
else.
Yeah.
Right.
Good luck. Not there yet.
Yep.
No, I
You
know.
know, so
I don't really
our
care
agency,
about
we work with
Wikipedia.
brands, right? We do brand marketing, we do brand development. And when you start working at the brand level, these are the types of things that become very, very important. And these are the types of activities that help get you noticed and help get you out there. And more importantly, based on the topic that we're talking about today, is getting you sourced or referenced within somebody's search within the GPTs.
Yep.
But here's what I want to suggest anybody listening, because this is new and amazing information for me. So I really want to thank both, Freddie and, Miley, to kind of like bring it to my attention because I wasn't aware of it. Now, here's the thing: as we are, let's say, hiring people to support us, you really have to
Mhm.
ask them, is this something that they're familiar with? I don't want to hire
Agree.
somebody that's further behind than I am. I'll give you a great example on this one. I have a lot of companies that the key person that they always want to hire is business development, sales and business development. And my first question is, the people that you're hiring, are they fluent? Notice the word I used, fluent in LinkedIn. But fluent, I don't mean that they dab. They don't dab. They need to eat, breathe, they need to know LinkedIn more than they need to know their name. Or are they using a more traditional, old-fashioned way of if somebody tells me that they love doing cold call, I mean, I'll show them the door. I have clients, they don't even answer a phone, let alone a cold call. I mean, like, they literally
Right.
say, do not leave a message. I do not reply to this. So if somebody's telling me that they are
I
going
love
to
it.
call somebody, to me, you just introduced yourself as Fred Flintstone, the most prehistoric person in the whole world. You didn't say hello, Michelle, lovely to meet you. My name is Fred Flintstone. But in essence, that's what you did. So
Where's Barney
Too
Rubble?
funny.
people,
Too funny.
I want to know, what is their LinkedIn strategy? How do they get? I know somebody that is so proficient in LinkedIn that I swear to you, she can get Mother Teresa on on a profile. I mean, she is brilliant, and I mean, her techniques are not to be believed. She is a LinkedIn beyond specialist. So you want to know, are we hiring somebody that is future forecasting and understand what they needs to be done, or are we hiring somebody that's same old, same old? And we need to know,
Right.
what's the question to ask. So now if I'm going to be looking for my VA, I'm going to say, let's go figure this out. I wouldn't have known that. So thank you for that bit of information. So I want you to really bring this into, who are you hiring? Are they familiar with the futuristic way we're doing business? Or do they say, you know what, I still cold call? What? I
You
want
I,
always
thi-
want to hire
I
up.
doing.
Yeah, and I think the other side of it is, and I hate to date ourselves in terms of our ages here, but I find that people in our age range tend to not, or I should say, they tend to have some fear factor in approaching the GPTs. And I'm saying there's nothing to worry about. You can't break anything, number one. At best, it's bound to help you. And at worst case scenario, it's a waste of your time. You stop anyway. But not just completely avoiding it and not trying it out.
There's
People,
You can
Because
companies
be
you're
you're going to be
over,
left
fearful.
behind. It's going to go back to
You're gonna
those
be
three
there's
exactly.
those
companies
three
right
people, and you're going to
now.
be number three.
those
I
three
am speaking to
people,
companies right now that are over $100 million, and they have not come up with a proper AI adoption program setting. They have no idea. They have no readiness assessment done. They have
90%
no
of
clue
people,
where to begin. Thank goodness for me. But
no,
the
they
point
I
don't.
was
is,
just
you
gonna
would
say, Steve,
think,
that's your job.
yeah, exactly. That's my job. But you would think there'd be some sort of leadership driving the train on, okay,
No,
No,
adopt it. Let's get someone to help us. And
well,
let's get someone
no,
smart.
let's go back to some of the big computer companies that I used to deal with. Digital Equipment Corporation, huge
Yeah,
company that was going it was it was two players, IBM and DEC. Okay.
yep.
DEC didn't pivot, IBM did. DEC went away, IBM is still here. There's so many stories of companies that didn't pivot. You take a look at, for example, um,
Kodak.
you know, Blockbuster. Blockbuster could have bought
Oh,
Netflix,
geez, I
Mm.
and
know.
they
Tell me
didn't
about it.
pivot. They
Boy, there's
didn't
a
pivot.
sad story, right?
It's, I
But
just
but
think
that's
that
that happens all
companies,
the time.
people
Right.
are companies are made up of people. And people are afraid of change, especially
Change
if you've
management's
got
huge.
somebody that's in a high level of position, let's say 12 years, 15 years, they're so in their comfort zone that they are petrified of change. It doesn't matter what. I mean,
Yeah,
GPTs are like,
there's
Totally
no
agree.
question about that.
you tell them to change their beverage, who they're buying their beverage from, and they'll lose sleep and they have to take NyQuil to get some of their Z's in. They are petrified.
And the lunacy continues.
There you
No
go.
doubt.
That's a
So what
Hey
perfect.
guys,
People
Let's
are
start to wrap
petrified.
this up for today, and I want to suggest that we work on our takeaways. So, Rochelle, why don't you start today? What's your takeaway from today?
I want people to think about who they're hiring, and are they hiring somebody that is futuristic that will bring them to the next level, or are they hiring, same old, and antiquated? And you need to know what questions you can ask that you can distinguish between the two.
Steve.
Schema. I'm going to go with the schema
All
because
right, I love it. I love
when we're
it. You
doing this
like that
production,
one.
I've already sent to my website guy to update my schema on my website, and I'm going to do the Marine Corps sites next.
All right, sounds good. Hey, Freddie, what's up?
I think the biggest thing is really looking at your information and figuring out what you need to do to get yourself to show up in one of these large language tools.
Agreed.
I'm going to suggest that everybody go to ChatGPT and say, under what circumstances would you recommend my company? Start with a basic question. I'm bound to get an answer out of that. That's going to benefit you. So let's run with
I'm a
that.
little nervous about that. If I ask that question, I'm afraid they'll come back under no circumstance, and I'll be Lady Something Confused. He'll introduce me as, this is not Rochelle Lister joining us.
So then you ask him, what can I do to
Lady
fix
Sings
it?
the blues.
That's it.
And it'll
Yeah.
tell you, ask it, how do I fix it? How do I make it better? How do I get, on the top of the search engine list? It'll tell you what to do.
That's what's so
All
great.
right, guys. Want to thank our viewers. Thanks for tuning in to the Four Loonies. I want to, that's it for this week's Business Lunatics. Hit the follow, the subscribe, and join the Loonies next week for more no fluff, no business, no BS, no madness. Join us on Business Lunatics.
A little madness.
There you go. See you guys.
See you.